everyone, welcome to another video. Today I wanted to share with you some lessons that I have learned about job hunting, the importance of setting your expectations. I'll be talking about tips and why being entitled is not going to get your foot through the door. If you've been keeping yourself tuned into the news, it's no longer new to hear that thousands, even millions, have lost their jobs during this time. There have been a lot of displaced workers due to the business closures and the temporary stoppage of operations. It's certainly a big blow to find out that you've lost your job, especially if it isn't your fault. You know that you've given good service, you're in good terms with the company, and you actually like what you're doing, but because things are just out of our control, we also come to realize that we aren't, after all, the masters of our own destinies. While yes, we can definitely dream and plan out our steps to reach our goals, I think it's important to be reminded that we need to be humble, and when we plan, we include God in our plans. In this video, I want to share with you some lessons that I myself have gone through in my seasons of job hunting and being jobless. Yes, I've gone through those seasons of not having work, and I will have to say that the Lord never put these seasons to waste because He allowed me to experience Him and teach me things and even correct my wrong thinking. Just to give you a background, I've had experience working full-time, part-time, and freelance or the racket basis. Now, what do I think is best? We'll talk about that in another video. Alright, let's get to the lessons. It's important to grieve your job loss and acknowledge what you feel. While the knee-jerk reaction would be to immediately go and find a job, and there's really nothing wrong with that. I think it's important that you acknowledge the feeling of loss and hurt when you lose your job. It's okay to cry. Don't let anyone tell you na, "Nako, wag kang magmukmuk dyan, kailangan mo na maghanap ng trabaho." You need to allot yourself time na magmukmok, pero huwag ka naman magstay doon forever. You have to release those feelings and process your hurt. Maybe it's not the same as breaking off a relationship, but say for example, you lost a job that you loved and really gave yourself to, and then you just lost it because of reasons beyond your control. So it's important to acknowledge and mourn that. I think that's also going to be helpful as you start looking for work, and it will help you to remind yourself not to bring your anger or your hurt when you begin getting calls or interviews. Baka bigla mo namang gawing counselor, yung recruiter na mag-i-interview sa'yo. Be thankful if you get a job interview, but manage your expectations. Yes, you want to be able to get a job right away, but you also have to get yourself ready for the reality that you may get interviewed, but it may not progress to the next stage. Don't let that hold you back though. When you get the call or several calls for interviews for potential jobs, always give your best and prepare for your interviews. Speaking of which, prepare for job interviews by putting in the effort to research about the company, research about the position you're applying for, and if the company culture is something that you think you'd be able to fit into. Minsan dahil sobra tayong nagmamadali, minamadali din natin yung preparation. We don't do the proper research that will help us prepare for the job interview. Remember, especially during this time, since a lot of interviews are being conducted virtually, the first line for you to establish your marketability to a recruiter who calls you up is how you answer the phone, how you converse, and even how you answer the questions. The resume, yung application, iba yun. Ito, they already took a look at that, and now they want to check out how you're like. Pero wala pang presence, body language, and physical presentation yan. So you also have to remember that when you're on job search mode, when you answer calls, you have to be pleasant and professional. Hindi yung tipong, "Hello, sino to?" Tapos when you find out it's a recruiter, biglang mag-iiba yung boses mo. You must not forget though, huwag mo namang i-fake. Kasi obvious yun sa other end if you're trying to put on an act. There is a way for you to sound professional and respectful while still being authentic. Now, as you're doing your research about the company you're applying for, you can take a look at LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, and JobStreet. Now, these will help you see what the company is about and how they're performing. It's very important that you read up on them and be ready to answer when they ask for your opinion. What do you think about what we're doing? What do you think about the latest news about us? How do you think you can contribute to the company? Also, exercise your critical thinking when you read reviews, both good and bad. You have to be wary that there may be disgruntled employees, bitter people, or even company competitors who may be seeding bad reviews. One thing you should also remember, don't expect the company to be 100% perfect. No company is perfect. Huwag kayo tipong you get into a company tapos may nakita kang isang bad thing ayaw mo na agad. Lay aside your pride and entitlement. When you have a clear grasp of your qualifications, your credentials, and all that, if you're looking for a job, you have to remember to be humble. During this pandemic, ang daming company na nag-freeze hiring. Meron din company na meron naman silang opening. It's just that bilang lang yung positions na available. So if you really want to have a job, you have to be flexible and humble enough to take on a role or a position that may be lower than your last position or pay grade. There may also come a time that you will have to strip off all of you've accomplished. You have to start anew, start from scratch, and learn new things. If you're looking for a job and you have that sense of entitlement in you, that will come across in your body language and the way you conduct yourself. And you know, recruiters are quick to pick up on that. You may be good, you may have the good educational background and experience, but personality and attitude, these are things that recruiters and hiring managers also assess. Remind yourself that there are also other applicants who may be as qualified or even have better credentials than you, tapos pleasant, humble, winner yung attitude, swak pa dun sa role. So, you know, being entitled and acting high and mighty is not going to get you through the series of interviews. When you lose your job, it's not a very good place to be in. It's not something that you can just swallow and forget the next day. You know, I remember when I was jobless, like I would wake up in the morning and then I realized, oh shoot, I don't have work. Cry. There was even a time, I remember my husband and I were about to go to the market and I just couldn't get off the car kasi umiiyak lang ako. I hope the lessons and tips here have been helpful for you. I haven't done videos in a while kasi I have to prioritize my work tasks. I'm also working from home. And you know, by the time that I'm done, I just feel pooped. I want to relax. But I realize that the lessons I've learned in my experience of being in the waiting room of job hunting might be helpful for those who may be going through this similar season and you know, you're looking for some tips or encouragement. So I will see you guys in the next video. Be teachable, keep learning, and always be humble.